Hey guys, Violet here. In today's episode I'm going to show you how to make pumpkin spice soup. But before we get started, I want to show you a quick and easy way to cut an onion, because you're going to need a whole onion diced for this. A small one, not too big, about the size of your fist, so about that size. I think maybe a little bit larger, but yeah, it's about that size. So when you take your onion, you're going to peel out the outermost layer, the papery part. You don't want to peel too much of it because you need it. So we're going to cut away from here. We'll cut off that end. And we're going to cut down the middle. We're going to cut down the middle lengthwise. And be careful because you don't want to cut yourself. So we'll put that side to the side. We're going to take it and we're going to cut it in half again, but you're not going to go all the way down. You're only going to go to right about here. So we're going to cut down the center. Make sure you don't cut yourself. Right down in the middle. Again, make sure you don't cut yourself. So we're going to cut almost down to the end. So it's right about there. And then you're going to cut in this direction. Hold it together so it doesn't fall apart. But you're going to cut about a fingernail's length. I think that's about 1/4 of an inch. And you're just going to cut those all the way across. Again, I'm not going to the very end. I'm only going to right about here where the core is. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay? And then you're going to cut this direction going towards your core, which is back here. Keep your fingers away from the knife. And if you want to go with speed, you use the flat side of your knuckles against your knife. My onion's falling apart there. You go against the knife. Make sure you don't cut any of your fingers. And you just go back like that. Okay? And then with this part right here, you just do a little bit like that. Okay, and then you've got your dice cuts, because when you put it into your pan, you know, they break up pretty small. So I'm going to show you guys again one more time. So, here's the core. You're going to cut. It might be easier if you cut like this. Going towards your core. Don't cut all the way through because that'll help hold it together. Again, we're going to go lengthwise. Again, not going all the way to the end. Just about to it. Okay? And then, with your fingers against the blade, and then that's done. And then you've got your little pieces that, like I said before, they will break up when you're cooking. And that is a quick and easy way to cut up your onion. Okay, here's my pan. I've already heated up my oil. One way to check to see if your oil is heated is by adding just a drop of water, and it should make that sound. So we're going to put my chopped onions in there. We're going to stir it for about a minute. We're actually going to let the onions sweat for 3 minutes, or until the onions have become tender, and then you're going to add in your garlic, and you're going to let that cook for a little bit, about a minute, and then after that we'll add in the spices and let that cook for a minute. And you don't want the garlic to burn, so we'll go ahead and put in our spices for a little bit. Let those get nice and toasty. And then we're going to add in our pumpkin. I'm using a freshly roasted pumpkin, or you can use a 15-ounce can. You just need 15 ounces of pumpkin. So we're going to stir that around. And then we're going to add in our chicken broth. I'm using chicken stock, that way there's not that much sodium. So I bought 2 8-ounce containers of chicken stock. I try to keep my sodium level very low. Don't need high blood pressure. Okay, so we've got our onions and our spices and our pumpkin and the chicken stock. So we're going to let this simmer for about, I'd say for about 15 minutes. We're going to reduce the heat down to medium so it simmers, and then we'll stir it occasionally. Okay, after 15 minutes we are going to add in the evaporated milk and we're going to stir it. We're going to cook this for about 2 minutes, and then we're going to use an immersion blender. If you do not have an immersion blender, that's fine. You can use a regular blender or a food processor, but when using a blender would be better over a food processor. So when you do the blender though, you're going to want to keep it kind of vented, because otherwise it's going to blow up all over your kitchen. Okay, so now I'm going to use my immersion blender. So it's going to be nice and smooth. Mine's a little frothy because of the immersion blender. So you want to try to get it as smooth as you can. Mine still has some of the chunks in it. My immersion blender is very old, so yours might come out smoother if you use a blender. But that's it. It's all done. You can salt and pepper to taste. If it gets too thick, you can add more chicken broth to make it a little bit thinner. Otherwise, this is your soup, and it's going to be delicious. Well, that's going to be it for today's episode. You can put the garnish in your soup, which is going to be the Greek yogurt and the parsley. So you'll put your soup into your bowl, put a little bit of yogurt and some parsley on top. It's just for garnish. If you don't want to use it, you don't even have to use it. You can freeze this for future service if you don't want to eat all of it today, or you can make large batches, whatever you want. But that's it, pumpkin soup. It's absolutely delicious, and it's very healthy, low in calories, good vitamins, so good. So that's going to be it, like I said already. So remember to hit subscribe and leave a comment in the section below with a recipe that you would like to see featured in the upcoming weeks. And like this video, share with your friends. See you guys next time.